Alicia is actually listening to this book called, I think it's called something about Thousand
The
Pieces.
Cracks of Life.
Well, this guy's like an addict. Yeah, there you go.
Oh boy.
He's like an addict in the book. And I don't know if it's a true story or not.
So it could be fiction, could be nonfiction.
Yeah. So the guy doing the voice, because it's like book on tape. So, so you hear the guy talking and.
Does he sound cracked out?
No, but he almost has like the dubbed sound of like someone who does cartoons for like an anime.
Oh, really?
So he'll get excited, but he reminds me of like, dude, there was a part in the book where I guess he's having a dream of smoking crack, and any details, he gets into real detail, but he was like, and then I'm coming and coming and coming, and I'm like,
wow.
I'm like, babe, what the fuck book are you listening to? What is going on?
Did she not?
Welcome back to Just Weirdly Blended. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tom.
I don't know the country and came out.
I couldn't get myself to sing. I thought about it for a second. Like, I'm just going to let you do that.
I feel like a crackhead. I'm like, yeah, man.
Oh, you just threw my mind right into a story I wasn't even thinking about.
What crack?
Kind of. There was an amazing story.
Like, wait, what?
I just read in the Tri-City Herald, our local newspaper. There is a local guy who was taking some meth out to Walla Walla, delivering. I mean, really a stand-up guy. And he was like delivering to a home methamphetamine, walked right into a drug bust at this house. Why he didn't keep driving, I don't know, but they were actively busting the house, it sounds like, and he got caught up in it. Like, maybe they showed up immediately after he got there. I don't know, but it sounded in the article like cops invading house, and he walks up with a bunch of drugs.
What are you guys doing over
can
here?
You give this to James? Like, it's just like, it cracked me up, and like, man, what an idiot! Like, you're transporting drugs in the first place. Like,
yeah.
But then on top of that, how like the odds?
Yeah,
he's just like walks in the house. Hey, I got your meth. Oh man,
it's such a dumbass.
Like, that was so
we didn't say he was smart.
He was not smart.
Yeah, I was like, crack. What? Alicia is actually listening to this book called, I think it's called something about Thousand
The
Pieces.
Cracks of Life.
Well, this guy's like an addict. Yeah, there you go.
Oh boy,
he's like an addict in the book, and I don't know if it's a true story or not.
So it could be fiction, could be nonfiction.
Yeah. So the guy doing the voice, because it's like book on tape. So, so you hear the guy talking, and
does he sound cracked out?
No, but he almost has like the dubbed sound of like someone who does cartoons for like an anime.
Oh, really?
So he'll get excited, but he reminds me of like, dude, there was a part in the book where I guess he's having a dream of smoking crack, and any details, he gets into real detail, but he was like, and then I'm coming and coming and coming, and I'm like,
wow.
I'm like, babe, what the fuck book are you listening to? What is going on?
Did she not realize that anyone else was
She's like,
in the room?
oh, and then she tells me what the book's about. I'm like, oh, and then I kind of like start hearing it, and then I put the pieces together that he was having a dream because he's in rehab.
Gotcha.
And so he's dreaming of doing crack, and it's real, and he's like in the dream, like, I don't know if he busted nut in real life or not.
Dude, that'd be rough, I would imagine. Like, wouldn't that kind of throw you right back into the spiral?
Well, that's what he's saying. Like, yeah, he's
now
like,
I feel like I just did it, and I'm waking up, and God, I feel like crap.
Yeah, he's like, the way he explains things. Yeah.
Could you imagine? What if you got high in a dream, and that made you a drug addict?
That'd be crazy.
Like, you never did it before in your whole life.
So in the dream, or not in the dream, but like he's in fucking rehab, and one of them talks about like some doctor or something explains that like when you have those dreams, like it is real for you. You know?
Sure, like your body probably chemically releases the same thing.
Yeah, like you'll have
you're natural
like part of the process of getting off drugs is you have those dreams, you know.
Gotcha. I could see that. Well, I know that like the heroin, for example, opiates can really like back you up and make really weird things happen to people.
Back you up. can't take shit.
Truly, yeah. They actually. Sure. So when you hear like, remember the commercials back when they were still prescribing opiates quite a bit, and they said like, they released some medication that was for the constipation.
Yeah,
it comes with it. It's like, yeah,
I'm sure my mom
unintended side effects
had some of that, like not from opiates, but like like I'm sure some of her pills back in the day were probably illegal to use now or something, because whatever, like pseudoephedrine and all that stuff how it became illegal or whatever.
Well, I got this from a guy in law enforcement, so I don't know if it's I can't attest to the fact that
you heard it here.
Absolutely true, but you're here to hear first. Breaking news. I learned that people on opiates often, like when they're super on them, like guys will just randomly like climax, like they'll just like randomly when they're, I think it's maybe when they're getting off of it or something, because it really screws up their whole system.
Yeah,
so just randomly they'll be like, oh god,
like, oh, there's Tom, he has his O face.
I hope it's true, because I can imagine like oh in the corner, like, Bill, just go to the corner, come
Jesus Christ, not again.
God, this guy,
I'm recovering,
and he's getting, I'm sorry, I was clean for a month, okay?
I know,
I made it a month.
That's crazy. I didn't know that about like heroin though. Like,
I mean, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure
it's
that's
true. It clogs you up.
Well, yeah. I mean, it definitely I know it clogs you up.
I know Coke doesn't.
Yeah.
It makes you get like poopy. You get
poop. No. Yeah, running.
Not runs, but like you got to poop. It seems like almost after you're like, yeah, it's weird. It's like a diuretic almost.
Maybe the upper thing, and then the downer thing just because the downer just like suppresses everything, right?
I think so.
It just kind of
I'm trying to think what would be a downer.
Down.
I don't know if I've done any
opiates.
I've never done.
Yeah, okay.
I've never done heroin.
I'm happy to
I'm
hear
not
that.
sure.
Black tar, stayed away from it.
No, I worked with a guy that did black tar.
Oh my god! Wow.
He took me home. Yeah, I think I might have said it on this podcast, but I used to work at UPS, and I needed a ride home.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm in the car already, and he's just like, hey, do you mind? And I'm like, what you doing? He's like, just it's just black tar heroin.
Did he shoot it up too?
No, so he put it on like a foil and he
and smoked it.
Yeah, and he made a little S and then he smoked it right there. He's like, do you mind? I'm like, nah, man, that's whatever. You're good. Like, I'm just sitting there.
Did he drive you too, or did
he was driving.
Oh my goodness!
I wasn't the one. I didn't have a car at the time. It was broke down or something.
I wouldn't have known what to do. I would.
And now, I'm like 19, I think at the time, or I was just out of high school. But I'm just sitting there, and I'm like.
But he didn't like doze off while he was driving, or did he wait a few minutes? It only takes a few minutes, I think. For people
I didn't live super far from the UPS right there.
So he's just like.
But he didn't seem like that.
Man, dude, I watched an episode of Intervention last night. Yeah. You watched Intervention? Maybe we've talked about Intervention before.
We've talked about Intervention.
Man, yeah, that gets me every time.
We've been watching My 600-Pound Life.
Oh yeah, yeah. Talk about an intervention there. Yeah,
that's sad. Actually, some of it.
I always feel bad for people in that position. Like I just like, for one thing, I think genetically to get that big, like you have to be born with maybe
thick
like
bones.
Yeah, like I think I could eat a ton of my body like will get fat, but I don't think I'll ever get that big. Like even like I've talked about trying to work out and build muscle. I can't build that much muscle. So
75-week challenge. We're gonna try it.
Need nothing but cheeseburgers and pizzas.
But it's sad though. I know I laugh, but like legit, it's
like
sad.
Truly, like I don't know. And you listen to them talk about reasons that they eat and stuff, and it's like, man, there's a lot going on there. It's not just some simple thing.
Well, I think that's the thing is like a lot of it is a mental. There's a mental issue.
It's a symptom of something deeper.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Like they might, something happened in childhood or something.
Right.
And it's so cool. Like, so I'm sitting there playing my video game. Alicia's watching it. And occasionally, because I play at where my desk is, I'll be playing and I'll look up and then I'll watch it. And it's really cool because like you'll see him. There's dude drop like 400 pounds.
Yeah,
like it's really cool. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I love seeing that.
Right.
And then it literally makes me upset when they like lose the weight, but then gain it all. And I'm like, oh. God. And I get it,
but
though.
Look at us. I mean, we could easily do the same thing.
That's what I mean.
Not to that extreme, but like if you're 400 pounds, getting from 4 to 6, I'm sure isn't that hard when your body's already done it.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like I seen that and I was like, I understood like how you can get there because like for me, I started gaining weight again because I started eating unhealthy and I was just being stupid like that.
I get it. Yeah, but like I mean, I got my heaviest was 260, which is pretty big. Like I mean that I was feeling like not great. And, like do
you think you could have made it to 500?
I hope not. I mean, I don't know that I couldn't have, but I mean, I just felt gross. Like
yeah.
There was a point. I don't know, like at my worst, I probably was like habitually eating, like feel kind of gross and just keep going. But I don't know.
I think like for anybody, like when you're at like either, for you, it's 260, for me, 210 or whatever.
Right.
I think for anybody who's at 600-700 pounds, you get to those points where you're just like, why even bother?
Yeah, I know. Like, I've had those moments.
And then you get the motivation sometimes to lose it. And throughout that time, you'll be like doing good for a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever. And then all of a sudden you back to the drawing board. You go back to it. Or you do worse.
I have been pretty crappy compared to what my norm was there for a while. Like I did a pretty poor job of exercising this week. So
you're like, I'm exercising every day.
I know. Like, I got
and then I'm like, I'm coming over to your house every day as well. And
life gets busy. There's stuff going on. I don't know.
One day I came over. I did exercise the next day. Like, do little something.
I've done some runs. I've done some.
It is
some
life,
lifting, but no, we're getting ready for both of us are getting ready for different trips with our respective families, I guess you'd say, and so I was getting the trailer ready, and I had to wax the trailer. Very interesting information. Yeah. Trailers, they can look gross after a while.
First world problems, right? So, now they say I had to wax my trailer.
I had to wax my trailer, wax my truck. So very hot. I was tired.
Well, I mean, it
didn't feel like, like buffing a trailer for hours.
It's a chore.
It's a chore. It's not fun. And it was tiring.
I've never waxed a car, so I don't know how. I've never done. I'm sure it's not like, I'm sure there's an art to it.
So it used to be very annoying because I just had the little buff pad and I by hand.
Yeah, no, I can see that
all over.
I seen Danielson do it.
I got wax on, wax off. Yeah. I got a couple of years ago, I had the money for it, and I bought one of the little electric,
so much easier,
but like a serious one, it was like
like serious.
It was super serious, and it works great. So I don't have, but you still it's like your arm going back.
Oh, dude, it's a lot of work. I mean,
but so I mean, poor me is what I'm trying to say. And,
I know. Struggling.
It's the worst, and no one's had it as bad as me when it comes to waxing things. So, but no, I mean, it was hard. And I didn't feel like going for a run. I felt like taking a nap. I just felt like
taking a trip and just the prep.
Right.
For it, like it is exhausting mentally.
You got to think through everything. Like, what do we need?
Like even right now, like we're getting ready to go to LA, so we have fly out tomorrow.
Right. So tomorrow morning they're flying out, and we're driving out in a trailer tomorrow morning. So like both of us have to leave the podcast and go and finish getting stuff ready, which is exciting, but also
it's
stressful.
Like we got most everything packed.
Yeah.
Like the clothes that we're taking, all that stuff's in the suitcases.
Right.
So we're there, but those small things.
Yeah, right. The little things that you easily forget.
I forgot my wallet, babe.
Right.
Can you believe it?
The meth. Like, did you get the meth? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've stuffed it in my sock.
Right.
I think I can make it through.
Hole. It's good. Don't worry.
Hope the dog ain't sniffing there. Can they sniff through the ass though?
I would imagine.
Like if they walk by you though.
I think I mentioned this before too. But
if it's stuff up there,
like drugs. Well, we're getting way into drugs here. Heroin apparently smells like vinegar chips. I think I said that before on this, but I got to just say it again.
Vinegar chips.
I love vinegar chips, but I would not like heroin. I can tell you that.
You don't know.
It's terrifying.
Is it sweet?
That's what's scary. It's like, God, if you got addicted to something, how hard would that be? Just think about like
it's hard
when you want to eat something, when you want to whatever, and you just like that you shouldn't, but you cave to it and you do it anyway. It would be like the same thing, but every time you do it, you're like literally killing yourself, Like, oh man, it's intense, scary.
In that book, the guy explains like for him, like this is where I'm wondering if this is like based on someone because the way he explains the way it tastes, it's like sweet, like honey and this and stuff. And I've always heard like crack is kind of like, it's like a sweet drug, like that people when they get high, you know, it just has a good flavor, and it's like, damn, this is like actually really good, you know. Yeah,
I'd be so screwed.
Yeah, it's a
I'd be like,
but
sugar.
But the thing is, like, the crack high is like
fast,
it's done, and it's
real fast,
and so they just do it over and over and try and chase that.
I've watched a lot of Intervention. I know firsthand. I literally do not know anybody that does drugs, so thank God, because
I've done my share of drugs. I've never done crack, you know, or heroin. I've never done that, or like LSD or any kind of hallucinant.
None of the cool drugs.
None of the cool drugs. I've experimented with coke, and I've done meth, and I've done, you know, I've smoked weed and stuff like that. But like,
dabbled in meth a little bit.
Dabbled in meth.
I did some coke, a little bit of meth.
Which is.
Yeah, but
I wasn't like hooked like the way some people
like
are.
You tried meth, essentially.
Yeah. But it was addicting in a sense too, because it was like I enjoyed the way I felt.
Yeah. Did you just feel like? Did you feel the euphoria, like you could conquer the world? Did you feel like you just?
I just was energetic. Yeah. That's it. Like I was just. It's almost like not. It's like drunk because you can, like for me, I was talking a lot or whatever. But
so like, does it take that like filter down where you don't stress about things, you don't worry about things, like, you know, alcohol can make you feel like, hey, no, I don't care, I'm going to say whatever I want, blah, blah. Did it do that to you?
Not really. I would just be like, I want to, you know, like you get to that point where you're just like, dude, I want to be high again, you know, like, or whatever.
Gotcha.
But the high would last a long time.
Right.
Like it'd be hard to, like, you know, go to bed. Like they say you stay up for hours. Like that, I can see that. I would make myself try to fall asleep, but you're like asleep, but you're still, you know, you ever like in that sleep where you're thinking so much, but your eyes are closed and you're just like,
was it kind of like where you think maybe you just fell asleep, but you're not really sure, and you're really annoyed because you're like, God damn it, I need to sleep.
I need to sleep, but I can't sleep, and you're just like sitting there.
Nuts. I'd hate it.
Yeah, so it was like that would be annoying here and there, but like,
well, the funniest thing my brother's always like,
the come down sucked because I'd get like a bad headache, and I didn't like that stuff.
Oh man!
But so you know, obviously, and it's meth, so I was like, okay, I need to stop doing that.
I did some research. Apparently, it wasn't the best thing to do.
To me, meth and coke were pretty similar in the way they like gives you the energy.
Gotcha. Whatever. It's just meth is long lived, and coke.
Yeah,
like
and the side effect. You don't get it. I ain't gonna lie. You can't get a boner from it.
From meth?
No, it's like from meth. Like it would make me like feel frisky.
See, yeah, right.
You know, like
but things wouldn't work.
Yeah, because it's like constricts your vessels, your blood vessels. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy because I've heard through Intervention so many stories of people were like, you know, doing some stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe they weren't.
I mean, I'm not saying that you couldn't, but it was really not easy.
You'd have to really be mentally prepared. Like,
at least for me, that's how it was.
You'd have to be
and maybe that's just who I was. But like, like I want, you want it, but at the same time, on the other hand, it's like, that's not working. So anybody that knows me and you hear this, that's not me now.
It was a long time ago.
That was 2 months ago.
It was lesson learned.
I'm kidding. It wasn't 2 months ago. It was last weekend. Long time ago. Years ago, we're talking.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I think everybody goes through low points in life, and it looks different for everybody.
I just wanted to see what it was like.
And I'm glad that you got through it. You're a healthy guy. You got, and so, thank God for that, because it is sad when it takes hold of somebody, you know, when it's out of their control again. Like, I get both sides, and people get angry about saying like, oh, it's not a disease. Like, I get that sentiment. I get that feeling. But for the people that argue it is a disease, I get that too. Cause it's like, when you're first going to do it, no, like, it's not a disease. It's you choosing to do it. But once like that dragon takes hold,
the dragon,
you know, I mean, it's like truly chasing that dragon.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just one of those things. At that point, the person is essentially sick because they can't control it.
You can't control it because it's just like a reaction now.
Right.
You know, it's just like, oh, I gotta do this. I gotta chase it or whatever.
But I just think about when you don't exercise and you're like, I'm going to start running. Like, I'm going to run tomorrow morning. I'm going to start
I've been
running,
trying to run.
And your alarm goes off and you're like, nah, you think tomorrow. It's the same thing. I mean, like we can sit there and judge it. Like we'd be like, oh, what a dirtbag, and like, oh, you live in a tent. What? But I mean, like, if it was as hard as you getting your ass out of bed to go for a run, you know, like
it is essentially
harder,
like that.
Probably because you're like dying inside.
So after I was like, okay, I need to stop. You know, you obviously, you know, there's not like I'm gonna gradually stop.
Yeah,
it's like
cold turkey.
Hard. Yeah, that's I can't do the gradual because then it just. I've tried the gradual things, and it's just like
does it not work where you just keep
doing it anyway.
Gotcha.
You know, you're like, well, I want some more, you know,
right,
or whatever. Right. So the gradual. So it's that hard stop.
You felt like essentially like addicted enough that you had to like cut it off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I knew like things weren't feeling right, you know, within my own body, or you know, okay, I need to sleep. You know, you got to work, or you know, stuff like that.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, stop. But then. That it took for me, it was about a week. I was just exhausted, like, so tired,
like your body trying to catch up.
Like I could have slept anywhere just to I think my body was just like, dude, okay, we got to catch up on all the sleep that.
Right.
Not that I was like up for hours, but like, you know, you're not getting your solid
like you
sleep.
said, even when you're sleeping, you're not really sleeping. Your brain's not really slowing down.
You're it's just going.
Interesting.
So like I said, like I would smoke weed to try to like counterbalance, like to balance that out.
Sure.
And you know, it'd work sometimes, it don't work sometimes, but like still your body needs to have that, you know, hey, your heart rate stays at this, you know, through the night.
Your body's
you never hit the REM, you know, you're not hitting that REM sleep, that good deep sleep, you know. So yeah, it was a weird feeling afterwards, because like the dreams, like I referring back to that book, I did have dreams of, you know,
being high,
like smoking, just going out and smoking. Like,
could you?
And I'm talking about like, you know, a couple weeks, month or so later, like I'm having these dreams, and you know, you get the feeling like, God, that would be nice, but then you're like, no, that'd be.
Was there
you think about the bad stuff, and you're like, nah, I'm good.
Was there ever a point that you were afraid that you would pick it up again, or do you feel like the consequences that you knew?
No, existed? I knew as soon as I said no, I knew it was like that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. There was
never a desire
like,
to go back to it.
No, there wasn't a desire like.
That's good. All right.
You know, I need to go back to this.
Right.
There was the thoughts here and there where you're like, you know, man, it'd be nice, but it was also like, it was never like, so the urge was never where it was like, I'm gonna go look for it. You know, like, you know, it was just, it's that feeling sounds nice, but then remember all that other shit,
right?
You know, like the not sleeping, which I like to sleep, you know, the weaning off it, you know, being off of it, like just wanting to sleep everywhere all the time.
Like this isn't long term. Like you know where it goes. If somebody does it. So
I can say that I was never like fully like, you know, you see like addicts that it's really bad, like they're, you know, just their teeth, like everything's really bad, and it is sad, and I can see, but I can see it, you know, and I think probably at the time mentally I wasn't in the right spot. I just didn't know what to do with my life, and so it was just like, well, let's try this, fuck it, you know. And I'm not saying it numbed anything.
Sure,
like for me, I don't think I looked at it like I'm numbing. This side is just
kind of a fuck it idea, like
it felt not? Good to me.
Yeah,
it sounds fucked up, but that's kind of like
the
only way I can.
Kind of like a nice warm hug.
It's just like a nice warm hug from someone.
So how, if you don't mind my asking, how did you get in it? Then I'll shut up.
Just a friend.
You knew somebody that did it,
and so I tried it with them, and I was like, oh, this isn't bad. This isn't more like
this isn't as bad as I thought it was. Exactly. I've always wondered that if that's what made it feel more accessible to people. If that's kind of
that's kind of what it was to me. It was like, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Like it's not like, you know, I heard horror stories where people like
you're instantly addicted and your teeth fall out.
Yeah, and I was up for 3-4 days in a row like that. I never had that experience.
The extremes,
but I can see that because I can see how
as you progress,
you need to like hit the pipe. You need like just constantly. I can see how that can happen, but like at the same time, I'm like, okay, no, I better not do that. You know, like,
right.
Because I got to work. I was still thinking about bills and shit. You know, like
phone bills due tomorrow. Hey, so did your friend end up okay, or did your friend not?
Yeah. No, she got out of it. And I think at one point she might have slid and had some issues, but like now from what I know, she's
doing a lot better. Yeah. Good. Well, good for her.
Yep.
So, rough stuff out there.
You know, it all hits you some way or another. Some people, you know, it's more addictive than other. I've always said I think I have an addictive personality, but I put that addicted like that. The things I'm addicted to change. It's not like, okay, let's put the bottle down. How about we go for a run?
Yeah.
Or fucking do something around the house. Do something productive.
With it
instead.
I've heard that.
Replace that addiction with something else. Really.
What's his name? I'm trying to think of the actor's name. He's the comedian from England. Real skinny guy. He was in
Russell Brand.
Yes,
Russell Brand.
So
my accents are so garbage.
Hello. I'm Russell Brand. I guess I think he got into golf for a little while and was like super almost addictive to like exercise or to because I think in his book he talked about being like so into drugs, like he committed to like being like hardcore drug.
Yeah.
And then when he quit them, he committed himself wholeheartedly into whatever he was doing at the time.
Yeah.
So I do wonder if that's, is that an individual thing or does that tend to be something that happens with people with addictive personalities? Or
I'm not sure. For me, that's how it is.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm going to look at it. Just for myself, that's how it is. Cause and obviously I don't have that fear that I'm going to go back to any of that crap. Like I'm not like, what if tomorrow, because I've had like some fucked up shit happen after that not fucked up, but stuff that you would think would trigger that.
Yeah. But
it didn't trigger it. It's like, even to this day, it's like, I don't even think about it.
Right.
Like with drinking, it's been, it'll be 6 months on
look at that.
The 26th.
Yeah.
Right.
Look at that. Yeah.
And I'm not like, oh God, I just sneezed. I'm coming for a beer.
I feel the cold taste on my lips.
The burn in the back of my throat as I drink that Coors Light.
Funny thing is, the voice I heard when you first described like somebody narrating the book.
Yeah.
I thought Kelsey Grammer. I thought Frasier. I'm like, that's the voice in my head.
That would be a decent one.
I'm coming. Oh, I'm coming.
Yeah. No, this one, I don't know why he reminds me of an anime. Like I watch an anime where it's dubbed and and the way the guy, he sounds like he'd be like the antagonist or something.
Gotcha.
But he just has that voice, and it wouldn't shock me if I found out whoever's reading that book did voice acting for like a cartoon or something. Because he just, I don't know. There's certain things I caught when he would say stuff, and I'm like, dude, why does he sound like he's about to, like fight someone?
Yeah.
I'll fight you to the death.
Did I talk about the Fukushima show last week?
Fukushima?
Yeah. No, I must not have. Okay, so
Fukushima, like the
nuclear power plant, right in Japan. I didn't bring that up. Okay,
hey,
sorry guys,
this is even better.
Fast forward through like a few minutes, but
cracking.
So
radiation.
I mean, I watched that Chernobyl show, so apparently I'm really into nuclear stuff now. So I watched the Chernobyl show; it was great. And I watched Fukushima on Netflix, and it was good. It was a Japanese show.
Okay.
The funny thing about shows filmed in Japan is the Japanese language and the English language are very different.
Yeah.
So the way that their mouths move when saying things is very different than the English words that you would say. So the entire time I'm watching this, it's kind of hard to stay I can't because they had to say funny things like you take that over to that side of the room, okay? We have to go there now. Okay, go. You go do it now.
Yeah.
And it's like things are like that. There's no way that's what that guy really said. The guy's like probably yelling at him like, "You fucked up the nukes," and it's like, "Hey, you okay?" The amount of times they said "okay" to things, I'm like, I don't know what the word was that they were saying, but they say it a lot.
Yeah. Like we'll say it's okay,
but it's like I did like really wonder like what are they actually saying? Like was this even at all close to what the actual script said? Or
I wish I knew Japanese.
I know like one sentence in Japanese. That's it.
No,
it's not anything helpful really. So yeah, but it was. I mean, it was a good show. Don't get me wrong. I recommend it. It was like a good.
So it's a documentary.
No, it's a dramamentary or whatever. They show just like the Chernobyl show was. They show sort of a what do you call it? Like a entertaining version of, of a nuclear meltdown.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it was harder because like, I mean, it kind of made me laugh at the Chernobyl one because instead of them having like Russian accents, they had British accents. I don't really know why. It was like the Soviet Union. So that part, like, those actors must not have been all great at like Russian accents. All of them British accents. I'm like, that's the weirdest.
So is it dubbed
thing.
Too?
Not Chernobyl, no. Because they're just British.
They're just British?
You get in there now, you piece of shite.
Like, wait a minute.
I mean, but you do forget, like, there's something like, you know, the
I hear it's a good show.
Accents not close at all, but it's like it's a European accent.
I'm like,
so like
Russia,
you can
like
get
in Asia
into
somewhere.
Yeah, it's like between Europe and Asia. It's the whole northern area,
maybe
of you know, Eurasia,
a Russian
Eurasia
Englishman.
Yeah, it's actually in Ukraine, which is funny because these dumbass soldiers from Russia that are in Ukraine invading, they trampled through the forest outside of Chernobyl that's all crapped up.
Yeah.
And yeah, since then they found like nuclear fallout readings all over the place where those guys were.
So like for real.
Like for real. Not in the movie.
Not in the show. I'm
not
thinking
in the movie. I'm like, yeah, good old Vladimir Putin sent them in there like, yes, go to Chernobyl. And they went in there and he's
wonder why they feel
walk
weird.
to the forest. It's a very fun walk. And, you know, like they're all tingly. I did hear that if you are getting bombarded with like the gamma rays or whatever they are, that you do get like this euphoric feeling.
I bet.
Like you get this sort of weird energy rush and then your skin falls off. It's
so
god awful.
I remember like, there was some book in the Bible that they talk about something that happens and they start having like they basically are
Nucaridius.
They're basically describing what a radiation burn would be.
Sure. Oh man.
But it was from some biblical thing that they called,
what if they had nuclear power plants back then?
No, that's what I'm wondering. Like, you know that makes you think. You know, obviously I have no idea.
The Jesus power plant. Yeah.
The Jesus power. That'd be on
his power. I mean, like, can you imagine the power? You're like, wow.
Speaking
talk about
Jesus,
white lights. Wow.
I seen we were at Walmart and there was like a bunch of like people handing out stickers. Alicia was just telling me,
yikes.
She heard something about if you see flyer in your car, don't take it out. Right?
Oh yeah, I've heard of that thing. Like, because it's a trick.
Yeah, and then they'll get you.
Yeah.
So she was, but she's
as you're reading, they'll sneak up.
She's seen these people, like these guys are handing out stuff when we're at Walmart.
Like
she's
Vegas,
like, I was like, no, don't get it. I'm like, oh hell no. But they're like, I guess it's for a church.
Oh no.
But they were like thuggy. You know, they were gangsta. So I think it's Victory Outreach or some church.
Okay, so it's like a legit church. It's not
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that scares people. Like, hey, motherfucker, come here.
Yeah. Hey, I'll fucking shoot you, bro.
I know.
Come here, bro. Wrong gangsters.
I'm just trying to get you to love Jesus, motherfucker.
Come in. I told you, you better love Jesus.
Yeah.
And you got your Russian guy. I tell you, you're going to love Jesus.
The Bull.
Sammy the Bull Gravano.
Yeah, he's now
a Jesus Christ superstar follower.
Was it the Latter-day Saints or who's the one that go around?
Jehovah's Witness?
Yeah. Going door to door.
Jehovah.
Sammy the Bull is a Jehovah Witch.
You guys are gonna come to my fucking church today. I looked him in the eye and said, hey, bro.
No. Sammy, it's not like that.
I like your church. That's what I fucking thought you said.
I know.
Oh, man.
Just blow your way. I don't know.
That would be funny. Chernobyl with like mafia accents. That would be fun to watch.
Just anything with
Jesus Christ, you just blew up the fucking nuke. Jeez, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. I gotta check out Chernobyl.
Chernobyl's great. I really recommend Chernobyl. And then Fukushima's great too. Like, you know, if you want to get really entertained by nuclear disasters.
Do you have to watch the dub, or can you like watch them in their native language and you can just like read it?
You know what? I'll bet you. I didn't investigate that. So I'll bet you could watch it in native Japanese, and it probably would have been like better.
Yeah, well, because it is hard. There's shows that we saw on Netflix one time, and we're like, oh yeah, let's check it out. And then you start watching it, but it's really hard because the mouth's not matching up with them, and so you can tell that it's like a foreign movie.
Well, and this is the thing: the mouths matched up pretty well. So I'm like, well, not the case. This is not even close to what they're actually saying.
Well, and then the dub,
and like again, like
the dub accent.
We need to get a truck in here now, okay? You get him on the phone and tell him to get that truck here, okay?
Well, no, and then there's that dub accent. Like I said, they all sound the same.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I
they
think
all sound like they're reading.
The cadence, because it's like, Japanese is like like that's kind of the cadence, right? Like I'm thinking there's just a different rhythm, and so they have to talk awkwardly English. I'm not making fun of Japanese, by the way. Please don't take that.
No. Like, he loves Japanese.
I love the Japanese people. They're the great best. People. They're the best people. I love them.
They might have bombed us, but
they might have bombed us, and we're gonna say okay. But that's in the past. So
no, I get what you're saying. I can hear what you mean by that.
I'm just saying, like, I think the cadence of their speech is different than English, so it sounds awkward because like an English guy to make it match is like saying it in a very weird kind of way, the way that you would say it, like in English words, right? So,
it's always the same though. And I can see what you mean by that.
Right, it's kind of distracting, but it was a good show because like you really like I've learned from both of these shows that no matter what, if there's a nuclear catastrophe, like if you work there, you're screwed. Like you're staying and you're doing a bunch of crazy shit that you should not be doing, and you're gonna die. Like, there's no other way to do it. Like, they're just like, which then I realized, wait a minute, we have a nuclear power plant.
I know. I was like,
right here.
Right here in our own backyard.
We would have to move. If there was a nuclear, like, meltdown, we would be done. They'd be like, go. And they would wait a couple of days. So then we would get radiation.
How shitty is that, though?
Yeah, like, our house would be worthless now.
No, I know. Like, I can't sell this. Wait a minute. What's that guy that said he'll help if he can't sell my house?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna get him.
Kenmore.
Yeah,
the Kenmore team.
I was gonna say
if I can't sell your house. I don't think they say that anymore. Kenny Tarmac on the 235 coming from SC to the PDX. I can't even do it. It's too funny. Does he write that, or does he just
I don't know. He says it's so good.
Did you ever hear the one? This is Bob and Tom.
I'm you guys coming out of LAX from
when he's being loud. He's taking the phone call loud, and the lady starts beating him out because he's like yelling at the entire airplane. Hey, so funny. It's great. Bob and Tom is a good show. I enjoy it. A lot.
No, I always have it on when I would take the kids to school.
So I'm going to get back to something else that we brought up before. I think we deserve like an award, some sort of journalistic award. Last week, we covered a story of grave importance, the Titan tragedy.
Yeah, the submersible.
And we said on Sunday, right? Wasn't it Sunday that we did the show? We said on Sunday, right?
No, we did it like Monday or Tuesday.
No. I
don't think we did a podcast Sunday.
Damn it. Let's say it's Sunday.
Okay, it was Sunday, though.
It hits better because we didn't know yet. When we did this show, we did not know what happened.
We didn't know, though. It was like
2 days later we found out. But we said on this show that we think it imploded.
Yeah, and it imploded.
We were right.
I'm just, like it's super sad.
Groundbreaking journalism. It is sad. Like, all joking aside,
our hypothesis was
it does
true.
Suck. But that CEO guy, I'm like, what a joke.
Dude, that's sad.
And the more we learn about it, the more I'm like, I don't know.
So was it like a windshield, do you think, cracked or something to cause the pressure?
No idea. I hope I hope they don't waste resources pulling it up to investigate it.
I don't think you can.
If you have a craft, possibly they could. We're going to be so curious about it. We're going to want to know. But I don't think any government needs to care enough to be like, let's haul it up. Let's investigate.
Let's do it.
It was a guy that went down in a Cracker Jacks box. And it blew up. I mean, big surprise. It didn't blow up. It imploded. Big surprise. If you're going to go to the bottom of the ocean, do it the right way. Get a submersible that's like relatively
like for
safe.
It.
Like, well, yeah. I mean, like there's a regulation for regulation's sake is not good, but some regulation's good. Like going to the bottom of the ocean, you probably want to know that it's tested to go to the bottom of the ocean.
Definitely.
And one guy I was listening to, he's an engineer, and he was saying like the problem is every material has a life, and beyond that life, it might still operate, but it's not safe.
Yeah.
They don't know carbon fiber enough. I'm speaking as an expert now.
Yeah.
They don't know carbon fiber is a very technical,
except for
but,
going down to the bottom of the ocean.
But if you're going to go 12,000 feet, I mean, hey,
Dude.
the pressure down there is like millions of pounds per square inch. It's absolutely nuts. And then you think James Cameron went down to like 36,000 feet in the Mariana Trench in that one time, but they only used it, I think, one time.
Yeah.
And that was the deal. That submersible probably was fine a couple times, but every time it went down and it got put under that stress, they didn't even do stress tests on it. The guy got fired for that.
Could you imagine going down there, right? And it's not going to implode, but you can hear it.
Just,
oh God!
Like, well, I don't think we should keep going. No, this is totally normal. Relax, the lights go out.
It's just turbulence.
What if the lights went out? Like, I mean,
would
like,
shit
my
myself.
God, that was the thing that like freaked me out thinking about these poor people. The thing was like the size of this table.
It really was. They said there was as much room in there as there is in a minivan,
which is ridiculous.
And they all sit Indian style.
And not only that, but like a minivan with computers and shit all through it.
No, can you imagine sitting?
No.
I would
be losing my mind to go to crisscross applesauce, everybody.
Yeah.
I'd be losing my mind just on the descent. It's 2.5 hours. It takes longer to get there than it does to drive to Spokane from here. For those of you that don't live around here, Spokane's like 2 hours away. So
yeah, you're just sinking.
But like you're just sinking for 2.5 hours down to 12,000.
What do you see out the window?
Feet.
Just see water.
Dark. There's a shark. No, I don't know what that was.
What is that? What is that? It's just
the ocean is incredible. It's amazing, but it's like I will get my Titanic viewing through the television.
How scary is the ocean, though?
Terrifying. I mean, millions of pounds of pressure per square inch.
You know what trips me out is that it's really hard to fathom just how much
that even is.
It's just crazy to think that there's like you're just in water, you know. You don't think like
the freezing water, by the way, very cold water.
But you don't think like at least you're in water, so the last thing you don't think like
the weight of the water
pressure
above you is pushing down. It's insane the way that works. But why isn't the sideways water pushing? It's gravity.
Why isn't it coming up?
Why isn't the down the water stuff pushing on me? But it's insane.
It's just all that weight.
Well, and every time they've gone down, they've had issues. Like every time people are like, yeah, I got a little nervous because this happened or that happened, but we always made it like the 3 times.
What was their Yelp review?
I know. Yeah, right. Like Angie's List. I need to get to the bottom of the ocean. Well, these guys are okay.
Yeah, they have
a 3-star rating. No, it's insane.
14 out of 15 were successful.
Yeah, right. I mean, hey, like that track record's been like 90% of the time they survived. Okay.
60% of the time works every time.
But there is like, again, it's back to that hubris thing for me. I can't believe it, but it's a tragedy. Like the Titanic taught us a lesson that we've clearly forgotten, which is actually, when I think about it, it's indicative of the time we're in now. I've been thinking a lot about current events and the way things are going kind of in the world globally, some of the lessons we've lost.
What's the history that just repeats itself?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, right. I mean, I thought about all the lessons we learned from World War II and all this. Well, those folks are getting older. They're dying off. And it doesn't mean as much to us anymore. Yeah. So we're starting to make the same mistakes that we made 100 years ago. Well, because
our younger, the younger generations, right. They're not going to know nothing about it.
There's people that bad in the world. Well, yeah, there are people that bad.
Well, World War II to them now, even to me.
It's a story. It's a story.
Yeah, but for us, we knew about it.
But at least we had maybe grandparents or great-grandparents that were in one of the wars. Whippersnapper, Hitler tried to kill me, boy. Like...
that Hitler video was great. It was Donald Trump as Hitler.
Oh, man.
Playing Hitler in a movie.
But
he changed the script.
What did I say the guy's name was?
Shane
Gillis. Yeah. Shane Gillis. He does a very funny impression. Yeah. He got fired from SNL.
Did he?
He did. He joked in a special that he did the last joke that was too far. He did a joke that was too far, and they let him go.
But, of course.
No, he does a really good Donald Trump impression. It was pretty funny, pretty spot on. I was like, I could actually, this almost isn't funny. This is almost like verbatim what would happen in this scenario.
There's some funny stuff in there.
Pretty good. He has the YouTube videos. Look him up. He's pretty funny. But
well, no, it's weird. We were just, speaking of people.
Yeah, people.
I actually ran into a friend that I went to charter college with.
Uh-huh.
And it was weird because I didn't. he's like, "Hey, Jesse," and I knew him, and I was like, and I couldn't remember his name, but I was just like talking to him. Right, I was talking to him, but I knew him.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I was like, it took me a minute to recognize him because it's been like about 13 years. I don't know. It's been a minute, and so I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, hey, yeah, you still in Benton City or whatever? Because I remember he lived in Benton City at the time. I think he lived with his mom and stuff. But he was like, yeah, and then like Alicia was like, you didn't introduce me.
I hate that.
Oh my God, I suck.
I know.
I suck at introducing people.
Did the same thing. We went to that show a few weeks ago, and I ran into two ladies that I've worked with in the past. But
before we went in. Yeah, okay.
I couldn't introduce them because I knew, like, the same thing you're saying. It took my brain too long to process because I haven't seen her in several years. One of them I knew.
Yeah.
And I could think of it, but I couldn't think of the other gal exactly. I knew her from work. But I couldn't put the scenario in because it was when I was a life skills teacher. So quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
And then I remembered she was a life skills teacher. And I remembered her name and everything, but it was just too late.
Yeah.
And so they're introducing this. I was like, I'm so sorry, you guys. Like, I'm an idiot today. I can't think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But,
Alicia, she's like, I could introduce myself and we could have got his name because you didn't know his name, did you? And I was like, I know his name. I just can't remember. And I was like sitting there and I was walking and then I was like, Aaron. His name's Aaron.
Right.
I was like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. I felt legit bad because Aaron is like he is a very cool guy. I got along with him really well. Right. Like we would, laugh and just, talk. Like he was cool as a gamer. Like,
right. So, well, that's how I felt too.
I felt really bad.
You just feel bad because it's like, I did not forget you. I know who you are. And my brain's too freaking slow.
I ended up messaging him on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just like, hey man, like, I didn't say like I didn't remember your name.
Yeah, hey, I forgot.
But he was like, "This is Jesse. He has a podcast," and I thought that was so cool too.
He has a podcast?
No, he's saying he introduced me to his friend and said, "Oh, this is Jesse. He has a podcast." He remembers my name. He's so cool. Like
Jesse and his podcast, Jesse Luke with his friend Tom. This guy, let me tell you, when he was in high school, track and field, insane.
No, I didn't know him from high school, but
no, yeah. I'm just spitballing here, but
grade school.
Grade school. This guy, math whiz.
Tetherball champion.
Tetherball champion 5 years in a row.
No, so he's like, it was, I felt like a dick, but I texted him and I was like, hey man, it's been a long time. You still had
his phone number.
Yeah, well, I have like friends with him on Facebook. Gotcha. I have his phone number, but I think it's on my the phone that I replaced, my Samsung. Yeah. I think it's on there. But I remember I had his number forever.
Gotcha.
It was out of state. It was from like, God, I want to say he was from Minnesota. Aaron, if you're listening, I don't remember if it was Minnesota, but
maybe Wisconsin. We're not.
It was something like that. It was. I think it was Midwest.
Upper Midwest.
I think so.
Ohio.
No, I want to say I'm right. Yeah. I knew his name. It just took a long time. So when I get home, I'll remember. Nah, it wasn't North Dakota.
Oh, I was thinking Aaron Rodgers.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, man, I tell you.
But yeah, we do have a question of the week.
Oh man, Jesse got me fired up a few minutes
I did.
ago because I was like, well, this can't be real, and I actually still don't know that this is real for sure. But
like, so I on our Instagram stuff, I'll see videos like mental health videos.
He's a researcher,
or like father, parenting kinds or something, just relatable kind of to what we talk about sometimes.
Right.
And I just so happened to come across this one, and it's from one of those judge shows,
right?
Like
it's
a Maury.
Judge Judy, but yeah, right.
I know what the lady's name is. I can't remember. I'm bad at names. Obviously, we just went over that.
But Maury, right? Maury Povich is probably close to what this.
Yeah, because it's like you are not the father type thing. So this guy, he's at the court and he had served 5 years in prison for not paying child support or something.
Yes.
Or unpaid child support. One of those two.
Well, yeah. I mean,
either way,
he didn't pay it. He was supposed to pay it. Didn't pay it. Got arrested. Went
served 5 years in prison. Come to find out, not his kid. The lady's like, "You are not the father." And then the judge is asking, like, "Hey, did you know?" And the lady's like, "Yeah, I knew. Like, I knew."
And then says,
I still talk to her. Do you know who the father is? And he goes, "Yeah, I still talk to him." I was like,
still,
that's fucked up. So my question is,
What should happen?
What's her punishment? What should her punishment be for something like that?
What's fair in a scenario like that? Where
I mean, either you pay me back,
right?
Some kind of like
financial, like huge financial payout,
which probably wouldn't happen.
It was like defraud. If that's true, I mean, if there aren't more details to this, I'm going to take it at face value. Let's give a response to like face value.
I believe it.
Like if that is true, if she knowingly wanted his money, knew he wasn't really the father
because maybe he had money
or some whatever. I don't even know. But like if that were the case, and she let him go to prison for 5 years for that.
She should serve some time.
Like, right. I mean, you defrauded, in my mind, you defrauded the court. Yep. So you should go to trial for that and serve at least 5 years.
No. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
You're the dad.
I'm just saying now that I know he's not the father.
Fuck that. No.
Now that I know he's not the father, I know who the guy was.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
No, I'm saying if he wasn't the father, I would know who it would be.
Yeah.
And
I still probably talk to him this day. Like, he still fucks me. Come on.
Look, baby daddy, baby daddy. I mean, really, we're splitting hairs here.
You know what bugs me the most, though, is if she knew the whole time.
Right.
Like,
and let him sit in jail for 5 years?
That in alone, that alone is sad, right? But what about her son?
I know. That's the other side of this. Is like
he's the one getting punished for this in a sense.
Right. There's still so many questions. Like, I mean,
now I found my mom's like some manipulator.
Right.
You know, this whole time I thought homie was my dad.
Well, was this guy really a father figure or was he not? Like, how long ago did this all happen? I'm like,
I got questions.
Because it's kind of shitty I said before when we first looked at this video, like, if this guy was the dad figure to this
he didn't have time. He was in prison.
I would have thrown the ball with you. Your mom put me in jail.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's kind of crappy too, though, to just be like, not my kid.
What if the whole time he did know, though, you know?
Right. I mean, that doesn't take away from the horrible thing that the wife or the gal did. But like this child looks at you as a parent. Yeah. Would you abandon that kid? There's a whole other question.
I've actually seen one where it was the guy really wanted to be the dad, right? He was ecstatic, like he loves this kid, finds out he's not the father. Bro he's calm, but he's crying.
The famous Maury Povich moments, yeah.
And he's just like sitting there, and you can just tell his world just shattered in front of him.
Can you imagine?
Like that, God.
Well, then would you even not only that, but then she probably cheated on you at the time because you thought you were the dad.
Yeah,
like. Everything about your reality would be upside down in such a horrific way, and then that kid stripped from you. So you basically lost a child.
You would do what most men do, and you would just shut down.
Yeah,
bury that shit deep and bury yourself in some bottle.
Yeah,
or something. You know what I mean?
I mean, truly, like you lost your family, you lost your belief in humanity.
So what do you do in those situations?
In that moment,
that'd be tough. So you find out that this isn't your kid,
right?
And say you've been with this, the father figure for, we'll say, like 10 years.
Right.
And then you find out all of a sudden this isn't your kid. Do you think he continues to be the father figure? Like, still wants to see him and stuff? I feel like someone would do that. It would be
up to the mom because you would have no legal rights anymore. Unless they sign the rights over or something. Or like if your name was put on the birth certificate, I don't know that would matter. I think you would be the legal parent.
I would hope so. Because I think it would be only fair because man... I just think about the kid.
Want somebody to go after, right? I mean, they want like some next of kin.
I just think of the kid, man. Like the whole time you knew.
Right.
I think of myself. The whole time my mama knew.
Actually, yeah. This hits home for you, yeah.
Yeah, the whole time my mom knew that the guy that I thought was my dad for almost 30 years wasn't my dad.
Hey, you sitting down? Happy birthday. He's not your dad.
You are not the
Jesse,
son.
I got some information here.
He's not
your father.
Yeah.
You want to watch some Maury? It's a good one today.
Yeah. And I probably did and still do.
Could you imagine? Maury would have loved to have you and your mom on the show.
But my reaction wasn't like, yeah, bitch. I was just like, well, I guess you had your reason, but in reality, it probably stung, and I just
the processing, right?
I just threw it down there, like,
right.
Let's just.
Was that before or after the drugs?
God, I don't remember. Probably. Oh no, that was when she told me.
Yeah.
That was before, way before.
So do you think that was a piece of the build?
I mean, it could be.
I mean, that's heavy. That's heavy stuff. That's that's
be
real.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? BetterHelp. I don't know. Maybe I need.
Yeah, for you guys
I need a
out
loan,
there,
baby.
Go to BetterHelp.com. BetterHelp.com.
But seriously,
but
if,
really,
you do
therapy, right?
If you need to go to therapy, go to therapy.
I did BetterHelp for a while.
Yeah. You were saying we've talked about it.
I
think, being like Men's Mental Health Month, just mental health in general.
I totally forgot. We just brought that up a few days ago.
I know. I'm just reminding people that just
take care of yourself. Mental
take care
health
of your people.
Is health, right? Mental health is health.
It really
That's something that we're starting to say, and I think that needs to become more. And mental health doesn't just mean, oh, I'm depressed, I want to complain, I want to cry. It's problem solving. It's finding ways to, life is a set of skills.
It is.
Dealing with life, interpersonal skills, whatever it is, conflict resolution. There's so much you can learn from, therapists. A lot of times they just tell you the strategies or the knowledge.
Well, because as a guy, or for us anyway, you're told, like, hey, toughen up, don't cry, whatever.
Right. Big girls don't cry, bucko.
Yeah. So like for a long time, you don't know how to show that emotion.
Right.
At least like for me, like there's emotional things that I am not good at.
Right.
And it's probably
really
because I wasn't taught how to use those emotions.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And society kind of encourages that. I mean, don't waste my time with your feelings.
Like, yeah, deal with it on your own. So, you learn to deal with it, your own way. And a lot of times that's where those unhealthy
without
habits
any
come
guidance. Yeah. I mean, some of the most important things about life, we get no actual lessons in. It's just kind of like, we don't do that, or we do that, or whatever. And you just kind of go through learning your ways of coping.
Like I was actually thinking about this. I don't know if this ties into mental health or not. I don't think it does, but kids who grew up without a dad, right?
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
And then you become, so for me, I grew up without a dad.
Uh-huh.
I didn't really have like a father figure, so to speak. My uncle, a little bit for the short time I was with him. But, fast forward now, I got a kid. How do I be a dad?
Right.
Because there's things I don't know. Like to this day, there's things I'm like, I start thinking like, well, fuck, if I had, maybe if I had a dad, I would have known how to do this or do that. So like some of the stuff I'm trying to like teach my son, I'm trying to learn myself or teach my daughter. I have no idea because I've never, which is a new parent thing. But also if you had a dad or a father figure in your life, you're able to like, kind of like,
right. Or call your dad. Hey, when this happened, how did you handle it?
Yeah.
I don't really do that a lot, but
yeah, you could like fall on that. Or my dad was like very stoic, and he was very a calm guy, or he acted so a certain way. You'd remember that stuff, and so
cool thing for you if you ever really piss your dad, you can call me like, hey, when this happened with me, wait a minute, you weren't there. Click.
Just
totally kidding. Jesse's dad is a cool guy.
My dad is very cool,
and we've told the story before.
There's times where I think about what it would have been like
if you had him in your life.
Yeah.
And we've discussed if he had known, he probably would have been there. So.
Yeah, I really do feel like he would have been there. So regardless if I would have moved, because I moved from Vegas, I'm moving from there here to Washington. But like, yeah, I think he would have been there.
Right.
Like,
your dad sent us coffee. He comments on every one of our videos.
He does. He does a good job. I love him.
Thank you very much, guy. Chuck.
I took his last name.
Yeah. Good last name. I like it.
Yeah. It was there. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I don't know. I think we're good.
I think so. We got to go pack.
We just kind of go everywhere. Yeah, I know. We got to finish.
Man, I tell you.
I'm bringing my laptop, so I'm going to try to get this out.
Nice.
At least while I'm there.
You guys will be seeing us very soon.
Yeah. We'll be back next week, maybe.
Right.
Or we'll be like, now we're going to wait. We're so tired.
Yeah, I'm going to the bottom of the ocean, everybody. No, I'm not. I'm going to go camping by the ocean. So pray to God.
I'm flying over no ocean.
Oh, last thing I'm going to say, ominous last words. I hope this doesn't happen, but I'm always a little nervous when I go because I always talk about that Cascadia Fault. Knock on wood. The Cascadia Fault. You know that off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. When that thing goes, it's supposed to be massive and like.
Is that part of like the Ring of Fire?
Yeah, bad earthquake, tsunami, the whole shebang. And we're stuck out on this like peninsula out there by the ocean. So I'm like, please,
just get in the water, man.
I just dive deep, let the waves rush over you.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that doesn't happen.
No, I don't think.
It's so weird with that kind of stuff. I start to like really fixate on it.
He's like, they say it's going to go off in 100 million years.
Actually, the average is every 300 years. We're beyond 300
I think
years.
we're close.
We scientifically are close. It could happen in our lifetime.
Yeah, it could.
But the averages are between like 200 years and 1,000 years.
And the chances are California might drift into the ocean.
And the likelihood of it happening when I'm there, not very much. But now that I've said it,
you just put it out in the world.
But I put it out in the world, so now that you guys have heard it won't happen. Because if I bet money on it, it won't happen. So I'm gonna.
So you guys owe us money.
I wonder if you can actually call Vegas and bet on when the fall.
Just on. I feel like you could probably call Vegas and be like,
"What are the numbers on that?" They're
what's the over under on an earthquake?
Right. We're gonna make it now. 20-1, 21 odds.
Deal. Here's my life savings.
Yeah, here you go, man. I think it's gonna hit big now.
So how did you become a multimillionaire? Funny story.
I bet I was gonna die in an earthquake.
Yeah. And guess what? It didn't happen.
Yeah.
I win.
It's kind of scary out there though, because like really, like some of these areas you go to, they're pretty flat, and you get out there and you're like, there's nowhere to go. Like if it were a tsunami, you just like, well, it's been nice.
No, just get in your trailer and then jack it up as high as it goes.
Right. Yeah, true. I mean, the tires would float. I have ballast tanks on the side, like my own little boat. That'd be awful. I've been in a truck that went underwater. Not fun.
Yes, this is
not
true.
fun at all. I tried.
He was in the newspaper.
Well, I was. The dicks.
I know.
Yeah, the cops like, oh, let's get a quick picture of this. Like,
luckily, you didn't see him in the car.
No, that was a scary moment though. And it turned out to
the funny part was his windows rolled down all the way. I can't get out. I'm like, Tom, just crawl out your window. No, I'm
that's
kidding.
Not true. I actually had to kick the window out.
I'm kidding.
But
how funny would that have been?
It was crazy. Yeah.
I was just high on meth, man. I thought the window was rolled up.
I spent hours miming my way out of the truck. God, I tell you.
But yeah, you fucking had a fucking Chuck Norris that bitch.
I did. I kept kicking. And then it landed, and it was funny when it was done because I'm like looking. It was at a boat launch, of course, and I thought, like, man, I'm gonna go underwater. I can't get out of this thing. Like, I couldn't get the door open. The electronics went out, so I couldn't get the windows to roll down or anything. Didn't know what I was doing first off. So that there you go.
Well, Pat, you're like, oh shit.
I'm like kicking and kicking, and the water's rushing in. I'm like, I'm just gonna have to like. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna die. It landed. I would have, if I couldn't get out, I would have had to like fish lift the surface, like the top of the cab to breathe.
Oh shit!
It landed with the water would rush over the top, and then when it would recede, like you could see part of the truck out of the water. It was like at that point. I was like,
oh gosh, that'd be so scary.
It'd be
still
awful. And once like the water's full, you can't kick hard. Like you can't move fast. So I was like. There was a moment I'm like, I guess I'm gonna die. I don't know. And I'm like, nah, just start kicking.
But fucking, you kick that shit out. That's impressive. That's impressive.
I kicked high, and I could start to see some sunlight coming through the crack of the door. So I'm like, okay, I'm bending it. How far can the glass bend before it just shatters?
Yeah, what's the breaking point on this?
Wasn't long after that, and it shattered. Then I got a ticket from Multnomah County because somebody, I guess, bought the truck after. I sold it to insurance.
Yeah.
Like, and then I guess somebody got it and somehow it was still kind of in my name. I got a ticket, a parking ticket of all things.
Did you pay it?
I had to pay a fee, but I was able to take care of everything from here. I had to get a letter from my insurance guy that I had sold it then, and it was all good. But it was a funny story.
That's hilarious.
I bought our trailer the day before.
Yeah, yeah.
I was mentally like,
dude, that
drained.
must be a trailer thing.
I was so upset because of that. I think that got me more than almost dying. Was like,
oh, and then you guys returned it.
Yeah, we couldn't get it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was so bummed out. Yeah,
I bought a trailer and my motor blew.
Look, brothers, every time, every time.
Yeah.
I tell you, a wild shit. Yeah, this guy over here with blown motor, me with a sunken truck.
You don't got a goddamn good. You got your good truck though.
This one's going. Fingers crossed. My truck breaks down and I die in a tsunami, guys. Hey, look at the odds. What's the over under on that?
Yeah.
All right. Find out. This is the last time, guys. Love y'all.
talk to you from hell.
Yeah. Hey, we made it through 86 episodes. So, hey, it's been a good run.
We'll be back.
We'll be back. I promise. All right.
All right.
Take it easy, guys.
This sounds like something from Tally Hall.